One diver posted the following story to social media. He said the following: I worked with a guy who used to be a deep-sea welder. He also worked on various things in the ocean, such as rigs, which would require him to dive deep beneath the ocean. He got talking one day as we shared a lot of things in common, and he told me about some of the strange things that we witnessed while carrying out jobs in the ocean. Due to the years of experience that he had, he told me that he could easily identify wildlife and said that he would often encounter things like deep-sea fish, sharks, along with various squid species. He said that saturation diving pays well, but it's a job that carries its risks, and that this encounter made him think twice about re-entering the water. He said that on this one occasion, he and a team was called out to a big job, which saw him and the team assembling and maintaining an oil rig and pipelines. While he was down there, each of the team had their positions. He detailed that the visibility wasn't great, and that it was overall a difficult job to carry out. He said that on day 5 he got into position and started working, but after about 20 minutes he kept on feeling something heavy touch his back. At first he thought it might have been another team member, but when he turned around, there was no one there. His second thought was that it could have been a school of fish, going on to say that these underwater structures are somewhat of an attractor for smaller species, as they act like protection for them. When it happened, he said that a few minutes later, he was able to get a glimpse of this thing, and said the only way he could describe it was that it looked like some type of squid. He detailed that the organism put him into a sort of trance, saying that it did this by changing shape and color. He said that he had never experienced anything like it before, as he was still awake and knew what was going on, but noted that he couldn't move. The reason that he said the organism was like a squid is because this is the only animal that he was aware of that had this type of ability, although he did say that he'd never encountered anything that looked like this creature. He said that he's never got over the fact that this creature was able to paralyze him without touching him. When I asked whether anyone else had seen all of this unfold, he told me that he was behind a large piece of equipment that obstructed his view, saying that all of the other members of the diving team were working on areas of the rig that were out of view, so although a team was within the area, none of them could see each other. He also said that these structures are massive, and even if they were working close together, the visibility in the region that they were in wasn't great. He continued saying that once the creature approached him, getting within around 10 feet, he said that it slowed down its coloration and stopped moving its body into different shapes, and once it did this, he then started to regain movements in his arms and legs. After the creatures swam off, he said that he had an incredibly painful headache and felt very dizzy. On the day of the encounter, he said that everything was fine before he entered the water. He didn't complain of having a headache, he didn't have a drink or anything in his system that would compromise him, so he was sure about what he had witnessed. When I questioned him on the size of the creature, he said that it was difficult to say, and the only thing he remembered about its size was that it was much bigger than him. He was certain that it wasn't a common squid species that he had encountered before, saying that normally the areas where he worked had much smaller squids,